Hey, what's going on, guys? I figured why not do a second video this week, even though I just showed all of my haul stuff yesterday. It's Christmas came early this year, so I was at Half Price Books, looked at the normal spots, had to go to the bathroom. On the way to the bathroom, I discovered that they have a hidden section of 20-cent books that I had no clue. They must have just put them out, but nonetheless, I found 94 books for 20 cents, I think, somewhere around that. So I haven't had a chance to bag and board all of them yet. I got a whole stack to go. I'm probably going to run out of bags and boards. But yeah, like I said, like I was getting ready to leave. Then I turned around, I had to use the restroom, and in the back of the store, they had a whole 6-foot table of like 14 short boxes, all for 20 cents a piece that I don't think anyone had been through yet. And I think, Half Price Books just ran out of bag and board, so I just threw everything in there. I think, like I said, I was surprised of some of the stuff I found. It was probably like 80% Marvel and DC in these bins. So figured why not go ahead and do another haul. But I want to say hi to Midwest Scotsman. What's going on, Paul? He says, Carson with an early day stream. Looking forward to someone who can actually find stuff at Half Price Books. Yeah, like I said, I've had a little bit of a drought lately, but apparently they've just been hoarding this stuff and not bagging and boarding it, and then they just got tired of hoarding it. It's like, here you go, find a spot in the back of the store and just throw it there and don't tell anybody. Because luckily, I made it through all of the short boxes before one other dude walked up and started like where I started. So, like I said, I guess maybe one person picked through this because there were a couple keys missing from some runs I picked up. But we also have Aggressively Relaxing. Welcome back to the channel, man. Nice to see you in the chat. But without further ado, let's show some books. I did find 4 $1 books. So these are my 4 most expensive purchases of the shopping trip here. So I got The Crew issue number 5 for $1. Of course, got to get the Truth appearances before everyone else buys them up. So got that one for $1. I haven't seen this one before. This is a second printing of Jessica Jones number 1. So anytime I see these like second, third, fourth printing Marvel number 1s, I've been picking them up lately. Here's one I've not heard of, but the creative team sounded pretty cool on it. Wasteland number 1 from 1987. I saw John Ostrander, David Lloyd, and William Mester Loebs, and decided to go ahead and pick it up and give this book a try. I think there's a few more issues of this run in their dollar bin, so if I like this, I may go pick up issue 2. I don't think they had an issue 3 though. That's why I didn't pick a bunch of these up, but figured issue 1 looked like a pretty cool read with some good creative people on there. And then the last dollar book, I go ahead and picked up New X-Men 119. I think this one's missing out of my Morrison X-Men run, so I decided to go ahead and throw that in the pile as well. So those were my 4 $1 books. So for the 20 centers, I figure I should go ahead and start showing the stuff I have not had a chance to bag and board yet. And then just let me know what you guys think. And we'll just go ahead and start on the top of the pile here and rapid fire them off because we've got so many. Shout out to Metarog. I think he'd like this one. I got X-Men number 4, Pizza Hut edition. So one of those Pizza Hut freebies. You get the fold-out gimmick covers from the early 90s. Yeah, absolutely got to love that. I could not leave that laying in there. Got a Dark Reign Young Avengers number 2. Unfortunately, this one does have a little bit of something sticky got stuck to it, and someone unpeeled that stickiness. So now there's it's probably one of those stupid bags with the glue line on it. I just use Scotch tape. That's why you don't want to use those glue lines. They're terrible. I have no idea what this is, but it's Fantastic Four. It's John Byrne, so I bought it. Fantastic Four Chronicles. It just looks like basically Fantastic Four collected in magazine form. And as you can see, it's got a lot of actual text in there. I think it's just John Byrne actually doing a lot of talking and describing, and has a lot of just color-free art in there. So that's kind of interesting. Then a lot of Dark Horse and Dark Horse Presents. I don't think anything, major key or anything, but it's a lot of cool looking books here I don't see every day. So I got Dark Horse Presents 67. Pretty cool swipe of Flash 123 with Predator on it. So I couldn't pass that one up. Then I got these just the Dark Horse comics, number 2. So really cool Mike Mignola cover on that. RoboCop, of course. Really cool Alien cover on issue number 3. Got issue number 4 as well, and these are in pretty nice shape. I definitely got to get these in bags and boards sooner than later. Cool Dave Dorman cover on number 5, and then got the Indiana Jones issue number 6. Unfortunately, I didn't have issue 7. I think that's the first time Dark Horse printed Star Wars anything, so that one was not in there, unfortunately. And then I decided to buy these, but in inspecting them and bagging them up. Actually, this one doesn't look as bad as the one I bagged and boarded. I'll get to that one in a little bit. But I got some reprints of the original G.I. Joe run. So this is issue 2. And I believe these were reprinted for these like Valor versus Venom G.I. Joe figures. Because that seems to be on the back of the ads of most of these. But these are like, these couple are near mint. Of course, the one I put in the bag and board had stairs on the back. But yeah, this one is actually the nicer of the few of those I bought. This one actually isn't bad either. I got an issue number 4 as well and an action figure reprint. But I did find a new stand of G.I. Joe 53 with the 25th anniversary edition there. Got a Jim Steranko cover on Star Trek The Next Generation number 1, so I couldn't pass up Jim Steranko drawing my favorite starship there. So always thought that was a cool cover, but I didn't want to pay money for a Star Trek comic basically because no one collects these things, so they're not the easiest, or sometimes they're too easy to find, if you know what I mean. Here's probably one of my finds of the day. I know this book's heating up. I got a Darkhawk number 1. So there was like a little patch of number 1s. I just picked them all up. So Darkhawk was in that patch there, as well as Cage number 1 and a newsstand on that. Got Fallen Angels number 1 as well. And then Squadron Supreme number 1. I think that's the first appearance. A lot of those characters, could be wrong. I always like the John Michael Straczynski stuff with those characters in the 2000s. But yeah, 20 cents. Here is the final part of the Judas contract. So Teen Titans Annual number 3. I think that's probably technically the first Death of Terra, probably. Got a Cerebus number 1 reprint. I don't even know why I bought this book. I saw it like 5 times in the dollar bins that they had, and this just happened to be the one copy they threw in their 20-cent bins, and that's New Agents of Atlas War of the Realms number 4. I don't know why. Just after seeing it so many times in that same shopping trip, I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to throw it in the pile and see what this book's all about since I had so many copies. Here's a good Topps 90s book. You've got Lady Rawhide, some really cool Mike Mayhew art on the inside and out. So slowly starting to collect Topps comics for some reason. Got a Spawn newsstand. This is Spawn Bible newsstand right there. Got that. And then they also had Spawn the Impaler in a newsstand as well. I've seen this book a lot, but I've never actually pulled the trigger on it. So I was like, 20 cents, I might as well grab it. Phoenix Song, the second printing variant where Gene has the green costume on. So, you know, say what you will about Greg Land, but I always have really enjoyed this cover. Always wanted that green costume one, but I never wanted to pay for it. Luckily, I only paid 20 cents. We've got Iron Patriot number 1. Once again, it's just kind of like a big batch of Marvel number 1s. I just kind of picked them all up and put them in the stack there. So got that. Here was a funny find. So I already have most of these, but I felt like I would have just been stupid to leave these in the bins. But the first 3 issues of Civil War. So here is Civil War issue 1, the director's cut. Unfortunately, they're not in mint condition, but they're still nice. I really do like, you know, at the end of the day, I enjoy Civil War. There's issue 2, the one where Spider-Man reveals his identity to the world. And then there's issue number 3 where they bring back Thor's clone for some reason. So got that. Always got to get the Adam Hughes cover on X-Men Classic 74. Great Storm cover. Batman Forever adapted into a comic book. I guess for what it's worth, it's a newsstand as well. Ugh, Chris O'Donnell, though. If I saw a Copper Age Batman, I bought it pretty much. Got Batman 414, another newsstand there. Me and Great Legend were talking about this one like a few weeks ago, so I decided why wouldn't I pick it up and give it a read? So it's Ultimate FF #1, or they pretty much, they get Falcon on the team. I think eventually Doom joins this rendition, and it's been a while since I've read the Ultimate stuff. I can't remember exactly, but I think this is after the heel turn from Reed Richards. Let's see what Paul's saying in the chase. Says, I have a run of those later rawhides with regular and sketch I picked up in a collection and about 10 Spawn newsstands. Nice, man. That's awesome. We got Uncanny X-Men 295. Once again, I'm not leaving X-Men in there. You kidding me? Another really cool condition find on this one. Mighty Avengers 247. So, of course, that was going in the stack. Shout out to Chris Barrett. I know he'd like this one. We got WWE Comics issue 15. I guess this is an A cover. It's got the 4 horsewomen on there. So I thought that was a really cool cover. Got The Truth issue number 5. So I still don't know what, I swear I had this first issue somewhere at some point, but I don't know where it went, but at least I found an issue 5 today. So there's that. Just a solid read. Zach Kaplan, Eclipse. So Port of Earth was really awesome. I've heard good things about Eclipse, so I went ahead and threw that in there. I have no clue what this one is. I guess it says it's a Fantagraphics reprint. Apparently it's from 2012. But it's just a Tales from the Crypt reprinting that came out in 2012. So anytime I can get, any reprints of these awesome EC horror comics, absolutely. So I've never seen anything in this format before reprinted, but I guess, there you go. So that's the difference in the cut and size of that. But yeah, Tales from the Crypt reprint. Why not throw that in for 20 cents? We got the Great Legend Show. Hopefully you're feeling good today, man. I know you're back. Hopefully you're feeling good today, man. My thoughts were with you. So happy the Great Legend. Just hopping in the chat. Got Captain America 346. I'm just trying to figure out. Hopefully it's not blood. I don't know what's on the letter A there, but I'm going to have to use some hand sanitizer after handling this one, I think. But we got Cap 346. Oh, this might be for somebody doing something. Who knows with all the Cap speculation. So there's that. But it's pretty much like if it's Captain America, I probably put it in the pile today. I don't know if this is... No, it's not. Okay. I think this is a run filler for my Incredible Hulk run, though, from the Peter David stuff. I got 356 newsstand once again. Pretty much like, I think this might have been the first book I pulled out of the 20-cent bins, but I got that. Shout out to Comic Man Andy. I think we've debated reading this one a couple times. And cool, it does have the insert. RoboCop versus Terminator #1. Would have been nice if they had all 4 of them. I definitely would have been really wanting. That's, of course, Walt Simonson cover on that. So the first of many Beavis and Butthead #1s. This was like the book of the 20-cent bins. You will see once I get to the stuff I had a chance to bag and board. I picked up a lot of these. I'm probably just going to give them away like I have been the WCW cards at this point. No red glove variant. I think there's a variant where the glove is red, but they didn't have like... I actually ended up leaving a bunch of Beavis and Buttheads in there. They had like probably a quarter of a short box of just this book alone. So I picked up a healthy amount, you'll see. But yeah, if you guys need a Beavis and Butthead, I guess let me know. If you buy something from me at some point, I'll just throw it in your stack. Run filler, Amazing Spider-Man. Always got to get the Mark Bagley stuff. So I got 393 to add to the collection. I already have these, but I can never leave these 2 books laying in budget bins. We got Titan Spotlight Starfire issue 2, and then the same issue #1. Absolutely love George Perez Starfire books. You got to get them if you see them cheap. I've never seen these books. I actually have part 1 coming up here in a second, but it's the Batman: A Gotham's Tale, aka Batman 478. But there's like, they did this like weird claymation cover. I guess claymation was, coming up at the time. Like, this one doesn't look bad, but when I get to the Batman, just wait and see how bad that one looks. It's pretty awful. Thanks, man. Legend says, if you enjoy the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up. So thanks for the shout out, man. Once again, if Cat Ren hasn't gotten to it before I have, I pick it up. and that's some George Perez Titans, issue number 47. This time, we got some more Young Avengers. Young Avengers Dark Reign number 1. So once again, just like Captain America said, Young Avengers on it. I probably picked it up for 20 cents. Really cool swipe cover on Mighty Thor number 20. Beta Ray Bill's first appearance, obviously, swipe there. Stephanie Hahn's cover on Generations Phoenix number 1. Got Champions number 1. I guess people are looking at this book as well. I actually thought about selling the last claim sale. I didn't. Now I guess I can move this one along as someone who needs it. Always got to get this book as well if I see it. It's Punisher War Journal 13. Really cool Jim Lee cover on that. They actually had a couple copies. I just picked out the best one and threw it in my pile. I got Batman 454. More Mike Mignola action there. And then we've got Captain America number 10. Really cool House of M crossover. If you guys like House of M, definitely read this issue. Because it's got Old Man Cap in it, and it's definitely interesting. So I highly recommend getting a chance to read that if you guys are just Cap fans in general. All right, so now for the stuff I got a chance to quickly organize and bag and board before the stream started. Here's another action figure reprint. So it's a not for resale variant, technically, of Avengers 195. It's like the little kid just opened his figure and lightly put this down on a countertop and never touched it again. It looked pretty minty, honestly, for a not for resale variant. There's only a couple spots, probably where the card was bent open to open up the figure that it's actually bent on the comic. But yeah, usually these are pretty beat up because of little things like that. Here's a second copy of this I found at the same half-price books, the Avengers Arena number 14. Love this swipe cover. Mike Deodato doing an X23 of Wolverine number 1. So another one of those covers I typically buy every time I see it for cheap. Now here's this awful Batman claymation cover. So bad I had to throw it in the stack. But Batman 477, and oh my God, is that horrendous. I'm sorry. There's probably people out there who like the claymation stuff, but not on comic books. So it's a newsstand at least, I guess. But man, this is like, I guess it connects with the other cover. There's that gimmick too. But yeah, I don't know what they were thinking there. And I definitely have my plans in place for multiple Comic Monday next week on Instagram. Here's some more Beavis and Butthead. So like I said, if anybody needs some Beavis and Butthead, yeah, let me know, because they had a ton of these, and I could probably find you more if you want all of these and more. So there you go, Beavis and Butthead. Yeah, like I said, Paul, I think they are definitely connecting covers, and actually probably like this next book too. So here is, I didn't even know this was a thing, but apparently they did these Captain America Special Edition reprints. So here is this issue number 1. It reprints a lot of the Jim Steranko stuff circa Cap 100. So the front is this cover, and then the back has that cool, like, I think it's the cover to 111 where he's like holding up the shield. They made a statue of that in years past, but really cool if you just need a reader of the Steranko stuff. Unfortunately, there is a little bit of color rub that goes across the front of the cover, but other than that, it's a really nice book. So probably unfortunately, the key was missing out of this little run I found here, indicating that I think someone, probably whoever works at the store and enjoys, buying the comics before the store opens, probably went and snagged this one, which I don't blame them, but I was surprised they left this run in the 20-cent bins. And that's the Brubaker cap. So I just sold this like 10 days ago, and now it's already back in my collection. So absolutely love this book. The only problem with it does have a dog ear that's formed, as you can see there on that top corner. But other than that, I will buy this book every time I see it as well. One of my favorite runs. Definitely my favorite run of Captain America I've read, the Ed Brubaker run. So pretty much had everything but the big, actually they were missing issue 4. So once again, the fact that they're missing issue 4 and issue 6 tells me that one person before me did go through this probably and got like that cameo and the first appearance of Winter Soldier. But I at least did get issues 1 through 8 minus those 2. So still a nice run, a cap for 20 cents a piece. I'm definitely not going to complain about that. And I guess a little bit of icing on the cake, I also found the B cover to issue 46. Just a cool Human Torch cover on that to celebrate 70 years of Marvel Comics. And then I have no idea why I threw this in the stack. I was like, oh, there might be some Dragon Ball Z fans out there who collect comic books, but here's a manga style Dragon Ball Z #1. I looked at it once I was bagging and boarding it. Apparently, it's a 12th print. A 12th print of this. Apparently, they sold that many. So I'll probably just give this away at some point. I don't know anything about Dragon Ball Z. Like I said, for 20 cents, I just kind of threw it in the stacks just in case there was somebody out there looking for it. Got a G.I. Joe Special Missions #1. This is definitely kind of slightly better than a reader copy. Not the best in the world, but still pretty cool. I think that was one of the ones I was missing for my G.I. Joe. So here's what I was talking about these earlier, the action figure reprints. This is the one. I don't know why I bagged and boarded this one of all the ones, but it does have a couple tears on the back. But this one I was kind of flipping through, and I noticed it looks like someone just made this themselves in terms of the print quality on the cover and on the inside. It's very pixelated and just has that like rubbed over look. It just does not look, it looks like a counterfeit basically. So yeah, the other ones didn't look near as bad as this one. So yeah, this just looked terrible. So yeah, I don't know what they were thinking there, but yeah, it definitely belonged to a little kid at some point. Legend of Luther Strode #1. I think I picked this one up once already, but I couldn't remember. So for 20 cents, I just threw it in the stack. It was supposed to be a really good read from Justin Jordan right there. Once again, still picking up multiple printings of, random Marvel #1s if I see them for dirt cheap. I got Loki, Agent of Asgard #1. So this is definitely one of those books I'll be hanging on to until probably June. But if someone does need this, I guess, let me know. Because yeah, I think this is the final printing of this book. I think I have a first printing of it somewhere in the collection as well. And then to complete this part of the stack, I got Machine Man #3. So I think I had 1 and 2. I was just missing 3. Now I just need 4 after that. I think I have issue 2. And then just the final part of the stack here. So this one was tucked into I don't remember what book this one was tucked into, but as soon as I pulled it out, I'm like, yeah, I need this book. The Rocketeer Special Edition #1. Dave Stevens art in and out. I was flipping through it while I was bagging it. An absolutely beautiful book. I'm slowly seeing why a lot of the guys in the community are big fans of Dave Stevens. I think I'm kind of on that boat now too, because this is like the 5th or 6th copy of Rocketeer I've purchased for a little bit. But I didn't have this exact version. I think I had the reprinted one that they did about 6 years later in the early 90s. But yeah, this presented really nice. It does have I don't know, I might be able to clean off something right there. I think it was just stickiness from another comic. But yeah, other than that, it's a beautiful copy of Rocketeer. Here's kind of an interesting one. I don't really pick up these True Believers too often, but I made the exception for this. Star Wars #1, Star Wars Day True Believers reprint. But what I find interesting about this copy is I was flipping through it as well, and I didn't realize they did a complete recolor of this edition. So it's just kind of interesting. It looks modern, even though obviously it's the 77 reprint. So very interesting. If you guys have this True Believers in your collection, you might want to flip through it and see what you think. Starriers, I think that's the way it's pronounced. Main reason I picked this one up, once again, Sienkiewicz cover. I love these 80s Bill Sienkiewicz covers. I pick them up once again about every time I see them for cheap. Speaking of Steranko this time, I don't even know what this is. I was kind of doing a little bit of research on it before. I think it's just an art book called The Edge of Darkness or something. There's they did a Steranko special, which is this, but this is a really cool book. This might be my favorite book I've found among all of these, just looking through it. Both covers are gatefold and has a lot of cool unused Steranko art on the inside. And it has a little bit of just stuff about Jim Steranko printed on there. So it's really cool. This would be something you'd probably find on his Artist Alley table probably. Reminds me of just, your typical artist art book that they would sell at an Artist Alley. So I thought that was really awesome. My other probably just the stupidest find of the day probably, but I actually kind of did want this book for hilarity reasons. Action Comics 593, the sex tape issue. And I heard about this comic, but I didn't realize how truly stupid this comic was until I was looking through it. You actually get Darkseid just chilling in Mr. Miracle's house with a brandy, and he just immediately like whips out this VHS tape to ruin Mr. Miracle's day. And yeah, this is an absolutely hilarious book, and I'm glad I found it. Once again, every time I see it, it goes in the pile. So Superman Man of Steel 18, first appearance of Doomsday in a newsstand. Yeah, I would have kicked myself if I left that one there. Didn't find the second issue, but I did find Edge of Spider-Verse #1, Spider-Man Noir appearance. Does have the advertisement for Spider-Gwen for what that's worth, which is nothing. But still cool to collect these. I wouldn't mind getting the entire run of Spider-Verse. Obviously, I have the Spider-Gwen one on the wall, but that's the only one I have for whatever reason. But I have this one. And winding down, we've got a few left here. We got the New Titans issue 50. Just a really cool looking George Perez cover on that. Couldn't pass that up. Unfortunately, when I bagged and boarded this one, I realized how terrible of condition this book was. The cover's pretty much all but detached at this point. It's hanging on by a thread, but Mighty Thor 433, I think this is where Eric Masterson becomes Thor. And yeah, I'm just classifying this as a reader for whatever that one's worth. Found a really nice sharp copy of Toxic Avengers #9, though, where apparently Toxic Avenger makes a rap album or something. So there you go. Pretty cool. Why not? 20 cents. I couldn't remember if I had this one, but I threw it in just in case. New X-Men, number 140, Murder at the Mansion Part 2. Really enjoy the Grant Morrison X-Men, so had to pick that up. And then the last book of the day, maybe one of my coolest finds besides the Steranko art book. This is a close second for me. And that's Grimjack 26, which I just saw the words Teenage Mutant Ninja and Turtles, and that went in the stack. And it turns out, I guess this is the first time TMNT was printed in color in any way, shape, or form. So really cool key to add to the collection here, in my opinion. And I think it said John Ostrander. It's like one of his first comics he ever wrote on top of it. So pretty cool. Really enjoyed seeing that. But that's what makes me mad, though. All those short boxes, tons of them. Probably no one's ever sorted through them. They just threw them out on the table. Not one Turtles. This is the closest thing I found to a Turtle book. Like, come on. Not even one. Not one Mirage, middle 20s, 30s, 40s. Like, nothing. Nothing at all. Not even the IDW stuff. But anyway, beggars can't be choosers. You can't look a gift horse in the mouth. You know the rest. But big thank you guys for joining me. Yeah, hopefully they'll do more surprises like this later down the line. And then tune in next week, I guess, Tuesday Night Live stream to what I actually got a chance to get at my local shop this week and read. So big thank you to everyone in the chat. Until next time, dude, stand